one city or one country, people need to have um, balance, participation. They need to have a freedom in order to express their own idea, in order to find what they want to be. And then for the education, every people has to participate, because education is a way of can be as a way of life, in order to educate ourselves, especially our intellectuality, in order to achieve our dreams, something like that. Yeah, I think that is what I want to say. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. I think that your thoughts related to the some kind of like we actually we also uh, saw some news from the in the Taliban also. That is the government needed, but actually I just mentioned about the Aristotle and his political master and slave. Actually, he want to make the balance. Actually, some people he could not feel the freedom. Some people he feel the freedom because he has a lot of things of the poverty. And for the slave one is he depend on the master because it has a lot of property. So through that Aristotle his ideas he want to make the balance through the virtue to live in the happiness in good life. That is I think Francis mentioned that is good even though we feel we could not have anything but we need to live in the freedom. Okay, thank you, Franz. Next one is David. Can you share your thoughts?
Okay, thank you for giving time to me to share the thought. As I read in a few minutes ago, like Aristotle talk about the household is like the or man or woman is like the woman. You cannot leader, or you cannot uh, own the household in your house, but you have to follow the uh, follow the man. If the man do, you have to follow. Is the like Aristotle mentioned, and also the slave. If for the uh, any the slave or related to nature, the Aristotle said that such the people uh, understand the reason of others, but would lack the entirely they all the capacity for for the rational deliberation. Such a person would uh, be the nature of the slave, as as uh, the Aristotle mentioned that they would inherently the capacity for the rationally direct in their own lives, depend upon them, like also the political in the government. If uh, the good government, they can lead the government, they lead their people to give them some good point to them, even like the bad government, if they give for the population, or for the other, like make them is slaves, or is they not freedom. If you work, you can eat, but you did not do anything, the government not take care. Is the Aristotle said that for the nature of slaves is uh, the there are any such the people. This is what would be true about them, and he is aware that some deny the existence of the natural slaves. Some kind that they believe is through their thought, like the master is to lead the slaves, or in that kind of they thought. For the one person like the slaves, or the other is free. If they like the other is free, is depend of the government. If the government lead the people is good, or government lead the population is good, that kind of people can be free, or can be do that. Like for the slaves, even the government lead the people not so good, so the government also to give some hard work, or to make the people is slaves in their country. Thank you. So that I want to share that.
Oh, thank you, David. Thank you. I think David also he also mentioned about how to live in the good life through the happiness, because actually for the some people he could not live in the freedom, so he thought that the kind of the rulers that is making people could not feel. So how can we live in happiness? So through that ideas of the Aristotelians, can we challenge the people to live in the good life through the virtue, to live in the happiness. Thank you, David. And I will share my thoughts. So my thoughts also related to the political of the Aristotelians is how can we achieve the happiness in the society. I think that is ideas of the Aristotelians related to us. If we relate to the Aristotelians, his ethical or the moral, we can through that we can be fine through the theoretical practicing of the moral, we can achieve the happiness. Happiness is just doing something, not only stand, but we should to doing something to access something fully. So that is ideas, my own ideas, but I think that relation to the kinds of political of Aristotle, he mentioned about the many elements, factor of the household, village, and to achieve the people live in the city as well. That is, I think he mentioned about to live in the freedom, we just make cooperate and observation that together with any institution that ruled by the government. So actually some of the government did not make the balance, so people feel that is not comfortable for them to live. So ideas of the Aristotle to challenge the people to live in the good life, especially in the city. So city, everything including the family and village, and including also the things exist in the city. So we have the one to rule. So rule is the government. Government make the observation to achieve the good happiness in the society. I think that is for our discussion today. So if our brothers have some question, can you share? And to, I think I think Brother Ramos will have some more notion about the ideas of the articles. Can you share some little bit what you get, what you understand, something like that.
Okay. Is my understanding when since we can see that every city is some sort of the community, and that every community is constituted for the sake of some good, but for everyone is does everything for the sake of what is to be good. But it is clear that all communities is aimed for the some good, and that the community that is the most authoritative of all, and embrace all that others does. So particular and aims and most authorities would of all. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's not about article. Actually,
what we learn about that.
so this article we have chosen also for the presentation of the some weeks more. Yeah, that's why we have discussed also some weeks ago, and then today we want to discuss again in order to help us to be more understanding about this article, in order to prepare something else. So this, through this kind of way of discussion, we may it may help us to open our mind only and to guide some, to help us to understand, even not too much too many things, but at least one or two things we can get from the this article. Okay. So I think thank you very much also for today's discussion. I don't have one additional explanation here. Yes. Yeah, thank you.
And the victim share a little bit what you understand and share.
I think that for that this article is um, the good for us to uh, discuss again, like as uh, the uh, like one some last week already we discussed, and we want to discuss again to understand in that book, the political in our talk.
So we can read more.
Yeah.
We can read more to understand.
I think maybe we can understand some part, but some part also not easy to understand. But I think we should read more, and we also prepare for the presentation next week after. Yeah, I think that is for our discussion today. Thank you, brothers. Today is for our discussion.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen.
Yeah, Father and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.